sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor early in the morning?
Hello everybody and welcome to the Q&A. It's sort of rare that I get a chance to express myself here on the channel. No script, no limits. I cannot wait to answer your questions. You know, it's sort of weird because I do rant after rant on all sorts of things, and it's really rare for me to actually go and ask the people listening what they want to know. So if this works out, I would love to do more things like this in the future. But without any further delay, let's get into your questions. The first question I'm going to answer comes from Thunders on Discord, and Thunders asks, why can you not fly? Well, Thunders, it's not that I can't fly. The reason you have never seen me fly is that you always see me inside my cave. If I was to fly around in my cave, I would be making a real mess of the place, and that would probably disturb my roommate. He can be pretty cranky if you break things and make a mess even though it's my cave. I mean, well, you get the idea anyway. Flying is also a lot of work. I mean, it's a lot easier to walk about, honestly. Besides that, my hatchlings can't fly well yet, and I still have eggs to hatch, so flying really isn't necessary. Unless I'm hunting, I guess. Honestly, I never really thought about the whole idea before that I haven't been flying in a while. I guess it would seem strange to see a dragon with wings that doesn't use them, and I suppose it really has been a long time since... The next question, please. The next one comes from Evie, also on Discord, and Evie asks, opinion on racism. Well, coming from a world with more than one intellectual species, racism is not a new concept. There are plenty of controversial opinions concerning who is truly superior, and I personally think it's ridiculous. How, after thousands of years of coexisting, have we not completely settled our differences? We should be able to see our outer differences, but still realize that we're all the same on the inside. I have scales, you have fur. Does that really make us so different? I wish it didn't. Two of my greatest allies are not dragons, and my roommate is a human from a distant land. I don't see how another dragon would support me or be a better ally than the friends I have now. But racism is not limited to just other species, not at all. In fact, some of the greatest discrimination comes from within your own species. Dragons are no exception to this. You see, it all starts with our eggs. Dragons lay a lot more eggs than they can possibly raise just between themselves and their mate. Different breeds are going to be comfortable hatching different numbers, but in the end there are always eggs left over. Each breed of dragon has a unique looking egg. Its shape, size, and color are all going to be different based on which breed or breeds of dragons happen to be parroting the egg. Extra eggs are abandoned at a place called Rainbow Cavern. The name literally comes from there being eggs of all different colors being found there. Creative, I know. Here is where this ties into racism between dragons. See, not all female dragons can lay eggs. I don't think anyone knows exactly why. It's just something that happens. These dragons, however, still have a strong desire to hatch eggs and raise hatchlings, so over time, I guess these barren females started taking in eggs from Rainbow Cavern. The racism ties in because these individuals have been given a slur title of rainbow nesters. Raising eggs from the same breed would be just fine, but because they raised multiple hatchlings of different breeds in the same nest, this pisses off other dragons. The result of this hate has led to violence and even death. Although the term isn't as offensive these days, and more dragons are accepting of the practice, nest raids still happen, and hatchlings are even killed if they are outed for being raised by a rainbow nester. There is still so much hate that needs to be left in the past, yet here we are in the modern age fighting for the right to hatch eggs that will yield offspring of different colors or shapes from ourselves. As a rainbow nester myself, I have the scars to prove this foolish racism still exists but I do believe raising hatchlings of different breeds in this way is a step in the right direction. If they see their fellow dragon as their brother and sister rather than their rival, then maybe we'll see some change in future generations. Who knows? I suppose I've spent enough time ranting on that for now, though. Honestly, it's a tough question to give a quick answer to. Moving on to the next one, we have a question from Cosmo on Discord. And Cosmo asks, how much does it take to create a video? I'm going to go out on a limb here and say you meant how much time, in which case it really depends. Scripts can take anywhere from a couple of hours to a few days to write. Sometimes you can pour the words out super fast and it sounds great. Other times, you really need to take your time in deciding exactly what you want to say and how best to say it. You can easily send the wrong message if you aren't careful while picking your words. Recording a video is actually one of the easier parts. The more you do it, the better you get at it, and expressing yourself in your words and creating more interesting audio comes with time and experience. But recording takes the least amount of time. Then the hard part, putting the whole thing together. Video editing is one of the most rewarding yet time-consuming parts of the whole process. I take breaks usually, so it could take me a number of days to finish a longer project. Just be sure to do it in your free time and don't get burned out by editing. The finished product is always better when you take your time. Moving on to the next question sent in by Hi on Discord. Hi asked, how did you come up with your Sona? Well, since I'm not actually sure what that means, I'll take it that you meant how was I created? So, since I'm pretty sure you know where dragons come from in terms of we hatch from eggs and whatnot, I don't think I need to bother explaining that part. So, let's go back to the beginning. You see, before the land, the sea, or the sky came to be, there was Del. Del is said to have been alive even before the world came into existence. She created everything, including the life we see today. She created dragons in her image, and all other species came after in her vision. That is why dragons are said to be the rulers of the world created by Del. But of course, as I mentioned when I answered the racism question, every species made by Del wants to rule. This has led to a lot of disagreements and violence over time, although there is a lot of peace. Now, there are still those who want to see that peace come to an end and war continue. I stem from the very first dragons ever created by Del, and that is where my name comes from. It's an honor to be a direct descendant of the first dragons, so I carry my name with pride. I think that sums up the idea of where I came from, I suppose. The next question comes from Andy on Discord, and Andy asks, favorite thing to do in your pastime? Where do I start? Collecting gold, finding gems, hunting? Honestly, my treasure pile is my favorite thing, so I'd have to say it's collecting new pieces for my pile. Of course, I love gold and all, but gemstones are the best, and sapphires are my favorite of all. So if you know where I can find some more gems to add to my pile, just let me know. It doesn't matter if somebody already owns them, I can take care of that. The last question from Discord comes from Jack, and Jack asks, when you were a young dragon, who was your biggest role model and why? That's a really good question actually, and my greatest inspiration as a hatchling was my grandfather. Now dragons aren't really close families, normally you only know your mother and your father, but my case was special. My grandfather was an ancient dragon, well over 2,000 years old. He was a widely known dragon in the land and very powerful too. He did visit my parents a few times when I was growing up, but I don't know all that much about him. However, I remember thinking he was really cool and I wanted to be just like him someday. I've got a long way to go seeing I'm only 251. So we also got a few questions from YouTube as well. The first is from Cac Black. I might have said your name wrong, I'm sorry. And they asked, what inspired you to make this channel? Well, that's simple. Free time. Having a hobby is great, and I like the idea of talking about my experiences, ideas, and thoughts in videos. This channel is really fun to me, and I hope I'll be able to continue bringing videos to people for a long time yet. Another question submitted using YouTube is from Vincy V.2. I don't know about, I'm sorry about these usernames. And they ask, what are your unpopular opinions? And I don't really think I have that many. I mean, I'm a rainbow nester, but other than that, I don't have many unpopular opinions. I have, similar beliefs to other dragons, honestly. The last question I'll be answering today is from Amused Genie on YouTube as well. And he asked, how much gold do you have in that damn cave? Asking for a friend. Well, actually, you can only see the overflow. That pile extends back into the cavern a ways. The amount changes all the time between me adding to it constantly and Krask stealing from it to fund his gambling nights. I can't really be sure how much is there anymore. You are welcome to come and count it if you'd like, but seriously, bring a snack and a pillow because you're gonna be here a while. And that concludes the Q&A. I would like to thank everyone who asked questions for the video, and I hope you all enjoyed watching it. Maybe you learned something about the channel and my home that you didn't realize before. If you liked it, be sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Comment below what you would like to see on the channel next, and have a wonderful day. I will see you all next time.